Hi, Cheryl Patterson here. Today, my blog, Social Issues Getting to the Heart of What Matters, I'd like to talk to you about strip searches. Really okay? Humiliating, traumatizing, and unnecessary come to mind regarding the strip search of a 15-year-old girl by her school in Quebec, Canada, last week because she joked about bringing marijuana to school. The school, if they had left the situation up to the authorities, the professionals that actually know what they're doing in situations like this, there probably wouldn't have had to be a strip search. This girl would not have had to go through this. The authorities are trained in these situations and have the skills to determine what's real or not. In the Quebec legislature, opposition politicians say they were dismayed that the school staff would not have explicit instructions from their superiors to call in law enforcement cases. In cases where scenarios like this happen, where there's a breach of regulations or potential crime is actually suspected, according to the Toronto Star. This unnecessary and humiliating strip search can have a traumatizing effect on this girl, as it would many people. She's already indicated that she felt violated to Quebec newspapers, according to CTV News. I would have definitely been affected by an experience like that at 15 years old, or as a middle-aged woman. It would be a hard thing to grasp and get over. And as a mother, to imagine my daughter ever having to go through something like that, words can't describe. A representative for the provincial riding of Chambly Coalition Avenir Quebec, Jean-François Roberge, indicates, I have a little girl, and I'm asking myself if when I send her to school, she will be strip searched respectfully, according to the Toronto Star. Many of us feel the same way. Not only is this humiliating in itself, but this girl now has to cope with the embarrassment of facing school peers, facing the whole school population with kids staring at her, making jokes, teasing, laughing, and the list of what she'll have to endure is endless. Apparently, the school also didn't even have the decency to let her call her mother before doing the strip search. Schools are trained in teaching, not strip searches. I'd like to know how the staff would feel if after sending a joke to somebody, somebody made them remove their clothing. And seeing as Education Minister Yves Bolduc thinks it was okay to do, maybe he needs to unnecessarily be subjected to a strip search. And maybe he'll think twice about how acceptable it is and have some compassion for what it might be like for somebody else going through something like that, especially a child. We're not talking about hardened criminals here. We're talking about our children. This incident, it's a clear indicator about why schools should not be allowed to do strip searches on our children. They obviously don't know what they're doing. This school found nothing on this girl. However, Bolduc did raise an interesting question, an interesting point, when he indicated that it also wouldn't be appropriate for police to do strip searches in school either. It probably wouldn't have come to that if the school had have called the authorities. However, that's a very important point as well. Excuse me. It's a different level of invasion of privacy if you're forced to take your clothes off, especially as a 15-year-old girl. indicates Toronto criminal lawyer Boris Bytensky, which he told CTV News February 17th. So this is obviously a sensitive issue that requires more consideration than simply resorting to extreme measures like strip searches on our children. The country's top court said that schools need to consider a host of factors when deciding if a search is reasonable, according to the Toronto Star. As usual, if you have any questions, comments, or would like to get in contact with me otherwise, feel free to visit my website, cherylpatterson.ca, and you can get in touch with me there. I would love to hear from you.